What's up, my pilots? Angryponcho here. Yeah, we're playing Ocarina of Time again. But hear me out. Hear me out. This playthrough is going to be a little bit different. So there's a couple things that I wanted to do in this game that I've never shown y'all before. Some little bits of it I have, but most of it I haven't. There's two things. One is the intended order that you do the dungeons in is not explicitly required. There are ways to do them in substantially different orders. Even the glitchless speedrun doesn't do them in the intended order. Pretty sure they do Fire Temple before Forest Temple and Spirit Temple before Shadow. So I wanted to show that you could play the temples in a totally different order. And to take that just one step farther, I'm also going to show you all some glitches. And these are all glitches that I can do, which tells you that they're somewhere between a 0 and a 5 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. Because I do not have the patience nor the time to actually get really good at the harder, more complicated glitches. And so, I'm going to show you all some of the easier ones that are more accessible. And there are actually some of the bigger ones that are surprisingly doable, even on a kind of a casual target. So, yeah, that's why we're playing Ocarina of Time again. I'm going to basically just try and break the game completely open, do things in totally the wrong order, skip items that are supposed to be required, do dungeons for the wrong link, just a big ol' friggin' mess. And hopefully when it's all said and done, I'll be able to explain some of these glitches well enough that you can actually try them yourself. And maybe the next time you play this game or do a randomizer or something, you'll have some more cheeky tricks that you can try. Little Navi just gets lost and smacks her head. This cutscene is a weird combination of familiar and nostalgic, because I remember seeing it when I was a kid, but I only saw it a few times as a kid, maybe a dozen times total. And then, as an adult, I've probably seen it 100 times or more, probably way more than that, watching ZFG do speedruns. So it's weird to have it be, like I said, nostalgic, but also more recently familiar. So Link knows that we're not going to do what's intended this route, and he knows we're supposed to get up, so instead he's going to sleep a little longer. And then, finally, okay, we'll actually get up. He just sits on the edge of the bed yes, hello? What the fuck do you want? The Great Deku Tree asked me to be your partner. Oh, okay. Who? The Great Deku Tree summoned me. Oh, we better go. Okay. Alright, I guess I'll hop out of bed and we'll go straight over to the Great Deku Tree, since this sounds important. Oh, this cutscene. It's I understand why Super Mario Sunshine runners got together and agreed to skip the opening cutscenes with a hacked file. Just because. Oh, man. OT runners just gotta suffer with this game. Wow, a fairy! Finally, a fairy came to you, Kiln. Yeah, his name is Link, but in the wrong order. I even kept the capitalization the same. Oh my gosh, the Great Deku Tree summoned us. It's quite an honor to just talk to him. You're more important than he is, Saria. You need to recognize your own worth. So, I could skip the sword. It's totally possible to just ignore the Kokiri sword. But if I were to skip the sword, I would need to get Deku Sticks. And I'd rather skip Deku Sticks, just because you have to use the sword for a couple things. Then you can skip using sticks for other things, so I'd rather show totally skipping Deku Sticks than half skipping the sword and half skipping sticks. Oh, Navi wants to tell us something. What is it, Navi? Oh my god, the Great Deku Tree has summoned us. Alright, we better head straight over there. I just gotta get the Kokiri sword first. Yeah, so this, this character, I haven't done the whole playthrough yet, so I don't know if I'm gonna have to go back and revise my plan, but I'm pretty sure you can get through the entire game without Deku sticks, without Deku nuts, and without the slingshot. Oh, God! Okay, we're fine. Do we not take damage from that? Or is the amount of damage it does just not much? Like less than a quarter of a heart? That's actually not that crazy, considering it's literally the first thing that could probably deal damage to you in a casual run. So, to make that something that the kids can get hit by and not get immediately bodied is probably a good idea. I'm gonna go over here and steal 10 rupees from Mido's house. This is one of those houses that you forget exists playing casually because all it has is 10 rupees and recovery hearts. But if you play randomizer, that house is this 4 treasure checks right at the very beginning of the game, so it's just like free real estate, man. So we're gonna go in here and buy the shield. I don't know how far we could get skipping the shield, but I don't think it's very far with the glitches and things that I know they mostly require the shield. There's a way to do swordsless stuff for a lot of these, but shieldless, like, you just need the shield in order to get Link into certain positions to do glitches, so... It's kind of funny that I start off by saying, like, oh, this is going to be totally out of order, but the first thing we do is get the sword and shield. So, stay with me. Alright, so this is the point where I say, oh, we could go to the Deku Tree. Nah. Let's not. I think he'll be fine. Actually, I think he'll die whether we help him or not, so let's just ignore him. Instead, I'm going to teach you all about some cool stuff. So first off, the infinite sword glitch. Shortened to ISG. Basically, with this glitch, the game gets confused and thinks that you're swinging your sword all the time. So this lady's going to, when she finished talking, I'll show you. I just had the glitch. It was that quick and that easy. So this is actually a frame-perfect trick, and I'll show it again in a minute here, but let me tell you what it does first. So when the game thinks that you're swinging your sword, weird stuff happens. So first off, the camera gets weird, which you'll notice immediately when you get the glitch, because it's like not following Link as tightly as you would think. The reason for that is, when you're swinging, Link does all these little forward and backward steps as he's moving around, and they didn't want the camera to be totally stuck to him during that, because it would basically be like shaking the camera around while he swings, and it's like, would be nauseating and unpleasant. So they made the camera a lot looser while he's swinging his sword. But with this glitch active, it kind of seems like it's a little too loose, because you can just run Link right off the screen. This will be our first of many Where's Links? The other thing is, you cannot fall off of ledges, because for whatever reason, you just can't fall off of things while swinging your sword. They didn't want you to have to deal with that, I guess. So if you're in the middle of a swinging animation, and you're at the edge of a cliff, the game just won't let you fall off until you're finishing the animation. So right now you're probably thinking, like, okay, why is it called the infinite sword glitch? Like, he's letting him have his sword out. Well, swinging the sword will actually cancel the glitch, because the game will recognize that you swung, and it'll know when that swing ends, and when that swing ends, it'll know that you're not swinging anymore. So right now the game's convinced that we're swinging our sword all the time. But we can take it out in a midair backflip. If we pull it out in that animation, Link doesn't swing it, he just takes it out. So you can see that white line. It's like the swinging blur is just going constantly, because the game just thinks we're swinging our sword all the time. And it actually will do damage to things. Like, you can hit stuff with it. You just smash a rock on every frame. You can cut bushes. You can hit enemies. It does everything that the sword would normally be able to do. And it's coming through on every single frame. So you can use it to deal damage to bosses crazy fast. Basically, as quickly as their animation will allow them to take damage, because it's going to be basically hitting them on every frame. So the other thing that this does is, when you get the glitch, a Okay, so let me show you how it goes. So, there, swinging your sword ends it. The way you do it is you hold up your shield. So you take your sword out, hold out your shield, and Link will go into this crouching pose. And you can see when he stabs his sword out in front of him, this game runs at 20 FPS. So since this is a frame-perfect trick, you have 1 frame in this animation to get it. And if you watch Link's sword, right at the end of his animation, there's a frame where the sword is kind of pointing, he's pulled his arm all the way back, and it's where it is now. And, but there's like 1 frame where the tip is a little bit lower, and then on the next frame it goes up to that resting position where it normally is. That frame, where it's just a tiny bit lower, is the one that you want to hit A on. And you have to be in front of something where the A button has an action on it. It doesn't work if you're just like in the middle of a field. You have to be near something where the A button has an action, like talk or grab. And that will basically interrupt the sword animation on the very last frame, and the game forgets to stop the... The game basically forgets that you stopped swinging, and so it thinks you're swinging the whole time. So the way you can do this is talk to somebody around that very last frame, and you see now I have ISG again. With a little backflip, I can take my sword out, and here we are. Boom, boom, boom. And that's the glitch. It's just so goofy. Okay, let me climb over. Let me go over here and show you. Because it makes it impossible to fall off of stuff. If you climb a ledge, the game will put the camera without the vignette. Then if you hit L, you'll get the vignette again, or I guess Z. That's not actually a vignette. It's just like cropped. But anyway, Link just refuses to fall off of things, so you can see visually how wide the top of this fence right here actually is, which I find hilarious. Anyway, so we're going to use that because it interrupts an animation. It stops Link moving because he doesn't move around while he's in the talking to somebody animation. There's actually another glitch you can do in order to move around while talking to somebody, but that's more complicated. So we want to get out of the forest because we're not going to help the Deku tree. So this guy is going to tell us no. But with ISG combined with one other thing, we can just go right past him. That other thing is sword recoil. So if you hit a wall with Link's sword, it'll push him backwards. Eventually you'll get pushed backwards to the point where you can't reach the wall anymore. See? And if you do it while crouch stabbing, you get an even bigger move. He basically gets pushed like all the way to the like max distance away from the wall. So that really quick movement, combined with being able to stop by activating ISG, works out perfectly to go past this guy. So all you gotta do is target this wall. So if you're facing a wall and your camera angle or Link's angle is close to correct, Link will actually get turned. So you can see here, this is Link facing straight on the wall. And I'm going to look just a little bit up and to the right. That's too much. If I look just a tiny bit up and to the right, Link will actually turn. See, there he goes. Link will actually turn when I target to face exactly at the wall. It's difficult to show this because it is a narrow range, but basically, yeah, there he goes. That was a big one. Basically, if you go up to a wall, walk against it, and then hold Z, Link will be facing straight onto that wall. And we can use that to position ourselves for some glitches we're going to do. And the first one is right here. So we'll face this wall, and then we'll just tap right for 1 frame, and that'll turn Link 90 degrees. I don't actually want the camera to turn, though. I'm just showing you. And then once we're here, we can crouch, and if we press just a little bit to the left, when we swing our sword, we'll hit this wall, and we'll get that pushed backwards sword recoil. And if we get ISG, well, it turns out that frame actually is us on the other side of him. So we'll face the wall, turn, to get ISG. It is a frame perfect trick, and I'm not perfect, so there we go. Oh, I didn't quite go through him. But you can see here, we've gotten stuck where we were when we got the glitch. And then as soon as that talking ends, we get pushed back out of him. So that was just me standing too far to the right. Let's keep going here. This is one of those glitches where like a lot of ones in this run. You can just try it again if you fail it, so there's like very low downside. I love this one where he's like, he just keeps like turning because the game can't decide what to do with him. Right now the game's physics engine is very upset because it doesn't want Link to be colliding with other actors. And so on the very next frame it's going to yeet him out. And if we get the ISG at the right time, we'll actually get yeeted out the other side of the kid. And this is actually a lot easier than I'm making it look. The Let's Player's curse is that everything's harder to do while you're talking. He's like, Navi, I don't feel so good. Whoop! There we go. So now once we're over here, we can just actually roll underneath this guy by like turning away from him and rolling. But he's such a good guard, he actually won't let us leave, even once we're inside his circle. He's like, This is like the world's best defensive lineman over here. So we can just roll past him by rolling and going the other direction like this, but I don't want to do that. My preferred method of getting rid of him is to deactivate ISG and then just slowly scooch him over here. Because if we do this just right and just move real slowly, whoop! See you later! It's so beautiful. And now Saria is sad that we're leaving. Yeah, we've seen this. She gives us the ocarina and then we leave. We'll be friends forever. I want you to take this ocarina. I'll definitely take good care of it, and I won't immediately throw it away when I get a better one. Promise. Honestly, the most awkward thing about this cutscene is that Saria is sad because Link was going to leave without saying goodbye. And then Link says goodbye, and Saria gives him the ocarina, and then he's just like, well... bye, and he just runs. It's like the most awkward exit. I hope you'll think of me and come back to visit me. Sure. Bye. He's like, Link, what are you doing? So, you guys are probably already familiar with the fact that running backwards in this game is actually faster than running forwards. Interestingly, everybody pretty much knows that rolling constantly, it just feels faster than running. And it is a little bit faster than just running. But even faster than that is just walking backwards everywhere. So I'm going to show you something cool about that in a second here. Oh, it's my favorite character! This guy's the best. Everybody complains about him, but like he's just like an ancient sage or some shit trying to guide us on our journey. We're just a 6-year-old kid trying to like figure out how 3D games work. We need someone to help us understand what the hell's going on. See? And everybody complains that he's got a lot of dialogue, but when you get to a certain point, you can just mash B and the rest of it goes by really quickly, so it doesn't take all that long to get through everything that he wants to say to us. See, that wasn't bad. Alright, so this next glitch is a inverted camera. So normally when you hold Z to target, you'll Link is facing away, and he doesn't turn after that. So he has to face away from the camera. And if you turn to face the camera and Z target, it just turns the camera. But if you tap the targeting buttons at the right time, basically if you press forward and then tap target, wait a couple frames, I think it's 3 frames, and then press down and tap target, you can actually get Link facing the wrong way. Oh, he doesn't like this this angle. He's just sidewalking. Well, this is weird. Let me try that. That was interesting. I guess I got like a camera that wasn't totally inverted. Here we go. But doing it like this, now we can back run, which is faster even than rolling, and see where we're going. Isn't that fun? So we'll actually also use this for a glitch in the bottom of the well here in just a minute. I don't care that I missed the gate. We're not going to Castletown yet. We're going to go to Kakariko first. Just because that's what I want to do. Oh man, it's my favorite guy! Dude, this guy's the best. He's just full of, like, inspirational dialogue. You're the only one who complete the quest ahead. Do your best! Hoot hoot! What a guy. Also, I love that we've left the forest with nothing on our C buttons. Just nothing. Who needs items, really? Oh, we got it. Ooh, I kind of want it to be daytime. Where... Are there any... There aren't any chickens out at night, are there? Well... Actually, it's recently night, so we can actually do something real quick while we're here. And then I'm going to pop back outside and wait for daytime. So if we go into the graveyard during the day, there's an annoying kid there who won't let us pull the graves. If we come here shortly after sunset, first off, Dampé will be here if we decide we want a heart piece for later. But I'm not really that interested in it. More importantly, is this grave that you can use to quickly retry Dampé. Also has a chest in it that people seem to forget about. Funny thing with this one is it's just a free shield. When we eventually get around to the Dongo's Cavern stuff, we're going to need this. Boom! We also need it for being an adult, so good to get it eventually. And getting it for free is nice because we don't have to grind for rupees, even though rupees are basically an infinite supply, considering there's 60 of them right outside the Castletown gates that you can just farm. And when you're a kid, your rupees, you only can hold 99 anyway. Alright, let me go ahead and get some gold skulltulas while we're here, because I can show you a couple other glitches. So the first spider is up here. And I believe if we climb right up next to him, we'll end up getting hit. Oh, so let me show you something about these spiders. So normally they take 2 hits to die. But there's this thing called power crouch stabbing. So this move that we used to get out of the forest, that's called a crouch stab. And that attack always has the characteristics of your previous attack. Like, they didn't know how to program the damage for it, apparently. And so they just made it do however much damage your last attack did. And it has the properties of it, too. So if you use, like, the Megaton Hammer, your crouch stab will be able to break boulders. But anyway, I'm just showing it here that if I do a jump slash and then crouch stab this guy, go down in 1 hit instead of 2. Because my crouch stab is dealing as much damage as a jump slash. But that'll only last until I use my sword for something else, because, like I said, it just does the damage of your last attack. Okay, so we got the spider on the back of the house. There is a 4th spider. And it's no coincidence that the House of Skulltula is here, and there's 4 spiders in Kakariko Village at night. There's actually a 5th one, but we can't get to it right just yet. Okay, so there's 1 more spider, and it's up there on the ladder. Looking at our pause screen, we've left the forest. We did not get sticks, nuts, or the slingshot. So it's kind of going to be difficult for us to get that spider down from there. But just another amazing ability of ISG. Let's go ahead and... Too far away. There we go. Now we have ISG. Cool thing about this is that while our sword is swinging infinitely, it doesn't even matter if we don't have it out. It still has a hitbox that does damage. And so if we go up here and approach carefully enough, we can hit the spider with the hilt of the sword before Link's hands touch it, and thus achieve spidery glory. And then also while we're up here... Oh, I didn't move far enough to the left. You can just side hop straight off of this tower onto the fence right there and talk to that guy on the roof. He just gives you a heart container, or a heart piece. I don't know if he actually... I think you're supposed to be able to talk to him as a kid. Okay, you guys are saying on the front part. I'm not going to try it again. You get the point. That's one of the probably better known exploits. Alright, so I'm going to wait until it's daytime, and then we'll come back in here and collect all the chickens to get ourselves a bottle. So if you kill enough Stalfos at night, you'll eventually get one of these supersized, bigger Stalfos. And if you're quick enough, they're not any stronger than the regular ones, but if you're quick enough, you can actually get even bigger ones to spawn. The more that you kill, they come out like every 10th skeleton or something like that. And if you can get more than one to appear in one night, they just keep getting like exponentially bigger. Then the days don't actually last quite long enough to, or the nights don't last quite long enough to get really, really big ones on a real copy of the game. But if you do anything where you, if you can hack into it with like a GZ card or something, then make it so that time sits still at night, and you can just get them to be as big as you want. They'll just keep getting bigger until they crash the game. They can go straight up to like Titan-sized. Chicken number 3. I'm going to glide us over to chicken number 4. I love that chicken flight is a thing in this game. It's just so... It's so satisfying and hilarious. Like, even as a kid, you try that and you're like, okay, that's cool. There's got to be some stuff I can do with that, right? And sure enough, there is. So that's 2. The other 2 should be hanging out. Oh my gosh, this guy wandered way back over here. Come here. There's number 3. We do want to get that bottle just because there's some cool glitches we can only do with the bottle. Like basically playing the bottle as an ocarina, which is fun. But it's also the most powerful item in the game. We're going to use it to defeat Ganondorf. So we need to get a bottle at some point. So there's 4. It's also just useful to have because we're going to be needing to carry some stuff around now and then. So go ahead and collect one while we're here. It also helps break the inventory screen. Turns out they designed the inventory screen intentionally. Like where the placement of the various items is intentional so that it's easy to navigate around to all the items that you've got. And if you're missing items that they expected you to have, and you have items that they didn't expect you to have, the inventory screen can actually get kind of broken. And you can end up in a state where no matter how you move your cursor around, there's some items that you can't get to. You're unable to like get the cursor to highlight them in your inventory, which is hilarious. So I think if we do this right, we can end up putting the ocarina in one of those spots. Alright, we're chicken number 7. Come here. Come here! So y'all probably know about the heart piece that's up here in the caged cow area. Up there, that little door. And you're not supposed to be able to get up there straight away as a kid. There's a few ways to get there. I believe that the surface is hookshotable near it. And you can, so that as an adult it's really easy. You can hookshot it, or you can just climb over the fence and climb straight in. As that little awning up there is only one-way collision, so you can go straight up through it. And if you side hop up onto these, Adult Link is tall enough to just jump right up in there. Kid Link, not so much. Alright, let's go ahead and steal one of the chickens that we've saved. This is just part of our payment. So the way you're intended to get there as a kid is to go up to the top of Death Mountain and get the owl to give you a trip back down. And when he does that, he puts you on the roof of that building. And from there, you can get the 5th Skulltula in this town, and you can get into that heart piece area. Alright, so here, we'll just wait for the carpenter to turn and go the other way. And we can hop over here, turn a nice 90-degree angle, and hop straight off. Boom! It looks like you won't make it, but you do. And then from there, we can head inside and get ourselves a heart piece. That's cool. Not supposed to be able to do that yet. Okay, so now we need to have a terrible, terrible accident. We're going to enrage the poultry. Besides being an Easter egg in itself, enraging the poultry is a pretty hilarious way to get Link to die in Kakariko Village. The other option is to yeet yourself off of that tower 6 times. Because it does half a heart each time. Chickens is a little faster. So they deal 1 heart every time they touch you. If they can figure out how to do it. There we go. They're not very effective fighters. Like, you can actually dodge these boys for quite a while, because they only go in a straight line once they land. But if you head into them, you just instantly take the damage. So, now that we're dead, we're going to take advantage of something cool. First off, every time you die or restart the game, like turn off your console and come back, Navi will wait like a minute or less, and then she'll pop up and try and tell you like one of her pieces of advice. And it's typically just her telling you where to go next, which is very handy, because you think about it as a kid, like you're playing this game and you forget what you were doing because you save your game, turn it off, you go to bed, you go to school the next day, you come home, do your homework, and then you get back on the console and it's like, where was I? Well, Navi will pop up and tell you what you were doing. Okay, so for this next glitch, it's actually really easy. We're going to go to the bottom of the well early. It takes advantage of a couple things. The first one being, when Link does a jump slash, he takes a big step backwards afterwards. You see that backwards step? It's kind of hard to show because the camera likes to be behind you during it. But whoop, big step back. So if we talk to Navi during that, we can actually do something a little cheeky here. So we take our sword out, hop straight across this well, and then when we're near the other side, we're going to press B. So we'll do a jump slash in the air and land on the other side. And as soon as we see that we've succeeded at that, we're going to start mashing to talk to Navi. And you'll see what happens. This is called a Navi dive. Blunk! Down to the bottom of the well we go! The Great TKT summoned us. Okay. Yeah, so while we're talking to Navi, you don't interact with water. So, instead of ending up floating on the surface and talking to her, you end up falling to the bottom and talking to her. Which is hilarious for getting into the bottom of the well early. Alright, so the speedrunners will do this trick where they'll smack this guy and then roll past him. But if that's too hard, there's actually another way you can defeat him. If you wait and you time it just right, you can do a jump slash and just kill him. Didn't know that, did you? Okay, so in this area, we're going to do a few things. So there's a hole in the floor over here that we want to fall down without actually loading the area down there. So we don't want to actually just jump down it. Instead, we're going to do another dive. This is going to be an Ocarina dive. So for this one, I do need to actually equip my Ocarina to a button. But before we can do that, we need to set things up. We need to stand in the right place with the right angle, and it's helpful to also invert the camera so we can see. And we need to have ISG. So we're going to be putting a few pieces together. This is the hardest glitch so far. And even then, it's not particularly hard. Because there's plenty of time to set it up, and if you retry it, as long as you save at least once in the bottom of the well, if you die here or have to reset the console, you'll just respawn at the entrance to the bottom of the well. So you can just keep trying this until you get it. It's very forgiving. So one of the things we have to take advantage of is sometimes Link's movement is weirdly precise. So for example, if you do a backflip and then roll on the frames when you land, it's a pretty big window, Link will always end up rolling to the right at this particular angle. And it's always the same. Like that. You can affect it by how long you hold Z, but for the most part, he ends up facing a certain angle. So if we backflip, turn that angle, and then turn right, this slightly to the left angle down this hallway is the one we want. And we can get it just by Z targeting that wall, backflipping, and then rolling when we land. And then you have to let go of Z before he finishes rolling. Otherwise, you will just end up facing the direction. You'll end up returning to forward, like that. Alright, so we can get ISG off of this creepy thing in the floor over here. Boom. Once we've done that, we have to put our sword away. We just stand still for a minute until the game prompts us to put it away. And while we're setting this up, if we ever need to let this guy go by, we can just stand on the wall closest to the camera down here and he'll just go right past. Alright, so we'll Z-target this wall, backflip, roll, let go of Z, press Z. We're going to turn left And you can do that with an ESS left or just by tapping left. And then we're going to invert the camera. Now we're facing at the right angle. So if we come all the way down here and we scoot into this corner, I'm going to take my time with this. So you know you're in the right spot if you just come over to this wall and then scoot Link to the left like this. Once he starts doing this jittery animation, like this, that's when you're in the right spot. So now we just wait. So now that we're waiting here, when this guy comes back around, we're going to do a hover, which is we're going to backflip with ISG and hit him with our shield up, and we're going to get stuck in the air. Right when he reaches the corner, we'll do it. So now we're hovering. And sometimes you can get Link to do the Ocarina straight from here if you just press up and mash. But if you get stuck up here, you can do a neutral roll and then mash Ocarina. Oh, I seem to have gotten him stuck. Yep, I broke it. I'm going to have to try again. So sometimes, basically, there's only a small frame window for pulling out the Ocarina. That'll start the dive. And if you miss that window, you just soft lock. You get stuck in the hover because the game is very confused about what's happening right now. So I'm going to have to reset the console and try again. But like I say, it doesn't take long because I'll just appear back at the beginning of the well and I'll meet you right back here before we try. We're going to do a backflip with our shield up and then we're going to mash Ocarina. I let go of shield too soon. As a result of that... Oh, don't touch those nuts. Don't you fucking touch those nuts. As a result, I killed him with the same hitbox that we used to kill the Skulltula out there. So, I must try again. Alright, I'm going to keep holding down left until I press up for the backflip. I want to do it... I'm going too soon because I'm landing on the ground. So I have to wait until he actually reaches the corner. Alright, give me that side roll, Link. Can I get an ESS roll, please? There it is. So you saw once I had Link in that position where he was sort of like jittering between two other frames. That's how you know you're in the spot where you need to be mashing Ocarina. And sometimes you have to press up or up left in order to get there. Okay, we don't need ISG for the rest of this, so... Instead we're going to just run over here to the bottom. So we are actually in the basement of bottom of the well. And we just want to turn our camera around and go over here. And we're going to swim into this water that's out of bounds back here. And we're going to keep pressing... we're going to try and stay away from the left side here. Because there's a roof over there we can get our head stuck under. If we just wait... Eventually, the out of bounds water will make us swim upward. And once you see the floor for this room come into view, pause for like another half a second and then go for it. Just press forward, and once you get near enough, you can do a jump slash if you don't think you're going to reach. But this little room is just one of those places that they put in the game just like on a whim that ends up being crazy important for speedruns and such. There's bomb shoes in here. This is the first instance where you can get access to bomb shoes. And because this is one-way collision, we can also just climb right out on the top. And from here, we can leave bottom of the well. So, if I'm right, our pause screen should be kind of getting broken pretty soon here. Yeah, once we get the next item, it's going to break. So, I'm going to exit this area. I'm going to go meet you guys in Castletown. We're at the gate, I guess. So we got to go see Zelda. I tried for a while to find a way to do this run without Zelda's Lullaby, but it turns out not being able to access any of the fairy fountains because they just will not talk to you unless you have Zelda's Lullaby makes it pretty much impossible to do anything. None of the magic spells, no magic meter. Yeah, good luck. So remember how I told you there were some rupees outside of Castletown? Yeah, they're up here. All you gotta do is walk up these chains, and then if you just side hop off the top, you'll either get 20 or 40, depending on how far you make your jump. And then, bada bing bada boom. I'm gonna dip in here real quick just because I want to pick up this Gold Skulltula. We don't really need the adult's wallet for anything because, unfortunately, I tried to find a way to get the tunics in a weird order, but they won't let you buy the adult-sized tunics as Kid Link, even if you have a big enough wallet and can afford it. So it doesn't even say why. They just say, "Oh, you can't buy this right now." Fuck you. Hey, your clothes, they're different. You're not from around here, are you? That's Melon, everybody's favorite redhead. So Melon's nice. She's a nice lady. One of the 4 bays that Link has to choose between. First, we've already met Saria, the childhood friend bay. We have Melon, the girl next door bay. And you have Zelda, the unachievable princess bay. And then you have the 4th one, Slutty Fish Bay. Don't get caught by the guards! No. So if you can't figure out the climbing up the vines bit of this, apparently if you harass the guard over there, you'll actually eventually accept a bribe to let you into through the gate. So I want to see what it takes to do that. Let's see. 'Cause over here, the path is blocked. I'm not sure what the situation has to be for this guy to open the gate for you. You want to see Princess Zelda, huh? You probably heard about her in town and decided you had to meet her. Well, go home, get out of here. She would never grant money to the likes of you. Aww. I wonder how many times you have to bother him before he finally... 5 times? Alright, maybe you have to leave and come back or something. I don't exactly know what the requirements are to get him to go, but anyway, we have to go back into town and then come back to the castle anyway in order to get Melon to switch places. You going to the castle, fairy boy? Yeah, we'll find your dad. He's fallen asleep somewhere. Mm-hmm. So you have to talk to her twice in order to get the dialogue where she gives you the egg. But you can do the first dialogue either in town or after she moves over here. I feel like it makes more sense to do them separately, because it's kind of like you see her in town and chat to her, and then you go to try and break in, and it's like, oh, can't get in, and then she shows up and gives you an egg, and like the plot is developing more naturally. Yeah! Do you really want to go through the gate that much? Let me think about it. Okay, give me 10 rupees. I love it. Did you know that was there? That's wild. Shit cracks me up. I don't know if it was 7 times you had to talk to him, or if it was twice after bringing Melon in, but if you pester him enough, you can get him to open the gate for you. So we could go in there and get Din's Fire, but there's 2 problems. One, we don't know Zelda's Lullaby yet. Bomb Tubes would blow up the rock, so that's not a problem. We don't know Zelda's Lullaby, so we couldn't summon the fairy. And 2, none of the other fairies will show up for you, even if you play the song, if you don't have the magic meter yet, because everything they give you depends on it. I'm actually not sure the double defense fairy cares, but that's really, really late in the game, so... Now, we're just going to swim over here and do as much of the block pulling puzzle as we can while we wait for the chicken to hatch. And of course over here we have Melon. Talon's dad sleeping on the job. I'm just going to pull these boxes most of the way over, and then I'll cut ahead and when the chicken hatches. Our pause screen should end up broken pretty soon here. Yep. I can no longer go up to where the bomb chews are. There's no way. There's no way to get my cursor up there. So, good thing we don't need them right away. Thrilling gameplay. Hooray! Chicken! What in tarnation? Son of a bitch! What the fuck are you doing, kid? Oh, hello? Yes, that's me. Who's asking? I went to the castle to deliver some milk, if you know what I mean. And I sat down here to rest, if you know what I mean. And fell asleep, if you know what I mean. Man, Melon, come on. Everybody knows. Never get high off your own supply. Alright, now we can push the rest of these pieces in. You technically only need to move one in, and then you can, I think you can push it to the point where it, like, almost falls, and then jump off and do a jump slash to get all the way over there, but you can also blow yourself up. You can jump off and shield drop a bomb chew and blow yourself up and get launched with damage. But I didn't bother practicing either of those because all they do is skip pushing the boxes, so it doesn't actually save all that much effort for a casual playthrough. Which this definitely is. We're not doing anything strange or out of the ordinary. This is all as intended. This is all what Miyamoto wanted when this game was being made. I love the cameo from the world's most inept guards. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh, okay. Never mind. For a second I forgot they were the world's most inept guards. And we just have to stand around and wait. And even if we let our fairy fly around and make a bunch of noise, they still won't know we're here. Dumbasses. This is absolute bait right here. Trying to get you to walk across this narrow-ass path up here. We're safe. So the guards actually can't detect you if you do frame-perfect side hops, which is where you hop right when you land on the very first possible frame. You jump again. You could, in theory, just jump right back and forth in front of them forever, as long as you never stand on the ground for 2 consecutive frames. They don't see you. Or at least they don't see you for long enough to sound the alarm. Because I think they see you on one frame, and then on the next frame, they try and sound the alarm, but one of the checks for sounding the alarm is if they still see you. So even if they see you for 1 frame, it's not long enough for them to call it in. Is there gonna be a guy right there? Yeah, okay. Which one of y'all is the fast one? Oh, they're already in the right places. Perfect. So in theory, I could just side hop straight past this guy, and he would never know. But you can also just do that right behind his back, because he's an idiot. This is the part where I would show you the Easter egg about shooting the slingshot into these windows, and how Mario and Peach and shit are in there, but everybody already knows that. Zelda! It's me, Link! Who? Oh, right. I mean, Kiln. How did you get past the guards? Guards! What's that? Is that a fairy? No, the camera's dolly zooming on my face like we're in fucking Jaws. Are you from the forest? Then you wouldn't happen to have the spiritual stone of the forest, would you? That green and shining stone? Do you have it? Well, here's the thing. Huh, that's odd. I thought you might be the one from my dream. You really don't have it? Tell me the truth. Do you have it? Yes, princess. Yes. Just please don't have me executed. I had a dream. In that dream, dark storm clouds were billowing. Oh, God. I'm skipping the rest of this cutscene. This takes way too fucking long. Y'all know what she says. Hello. I am Kid Zelda. You are Kid Link. There's a scary man with a big nose in there who thinks that he says he's my dad's friend, but he's not really my dad's friend. And I think that I'm going to do some magic shit someday, so I better keep my ocarina safe. And I'm the princess, and you're the hero, so you go get the rocks, and I'll keep the ocarina safe. And also, here's the lullaby that they played for me as a kid. That's actually also magic. You got Zelda's autograph! Oh my god! Sweet. I just love that she writes a little note that just says, "Hi, I'm the princess. This is Link. He's on official castle business. So, don't arrest him or whatever." And now we meet Impa of the Sheikah, responsible for protecting Princess Zelda. Oh, so it's your fault that those guards are all totally incompetent. Oh, you're heading out on a big new adventure? Wow. That's very cool. Good job, kid. It's like talking to a 4-year-old. I was like, have you ever had a dream where you know what? Yeah, don't press the thumbstick while you're playing the song. It makes Link do weird things with the ocarina. This is actually the only song that I can play on an actual ocarina. Just the first 6 notes. That's good. It's a crappy 3D printed ocarina. I was impressed I could figure out what combination of holds to cover to get those notes. Alright, so let's recap. This episode, we broke out of the forest, got murdered by some chickens, talked to Navi to dive to the bottom of the well, played our ocarina to dive to the bottom of the well, got ourselves some early bomb shoes, snagged a bottle along the way, and finished it off with Zelda's Lullaby and her autograph too. Just cherry on top. So in the next episode, we're gonna just crack this thing wide open. I think next episode we'll go... What do we want to do? Let's go to the desert. Let's go to the Spirit Temple. How's that sound? Alright, we're counting on you. So come back next time to see how it goes. Thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see you in the next episode of Ocarina of Time Out of Order. Or Ooh to Ooh, as I like to call it.